Alright, I'd like to welcome everyone back. This is part 2 of the 30mm axle swaps in the cast iron rear end. I apologize for part 1. After I made the video, I realized I did a lot more talking than working, and the video was a lot longer than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to try to avoid that here with the next parts. I'm going to try to do more work and less talk. So part 1, I did get the left tubes off. That was the main objective. I got that into the machine shop the next day, and he said he could have it done this week, get that face down for me. So that'll be good. So that means I have to hurry up and try to finish this project up. So tonight's objective is I'm just going to loosen up, take the right tubes off, and then once I get them broke free, we're going to take the 2-piece carrier out of the 30mm. I'm going to take the 1-piece carrier with the coarse spline out of the cast iron. We're going to remove all the insides, that way I can clean them up, and then I can get ready to start drilling them rivets to exchange the ring gears. So I'm going to bring you along and just show you how to do this. Alright, pretty much same procedure on the left side as the right side. Take the bolts out, and a lot of times the easiest way, just a rubber mallet, and comes right off of there. If they do stick on, sometimes you have to pry in there like I did on the other ones, but this gasket was pretty old. You can see how it's stuck and ripped off of there, and so it broke free pretty easy though. Let me go ahead and do the 30mm, the newer one, and see how that one comes off. Alright, got the bolts loosened out of this one. We'll go ahead and see how this one is. You guys missed it in part 1 because the camera battery was going dead, but this RTV sealant definitely makes it tougher to get off of there. I did want to point out I didn't find these in the first one, but make sure you find these retainer clips when you turn these upside down, because we're going to need them later on to hold the axles in. So works pretty well. You just got to be a little more aggressive with these, with the sealant on them, than you do the regular gaskets. But that's all there is to that. I'll get these up on my block and we'll start taking the innards out. Alright, I got it back up on my block. We'll start taking it apart. One thing I wanted to point out, I thought this was pretty interesting, is look at the sludge and the nasty stuff that's in here. I mean, this thing is just full of garbage. So even the pan where the oil from it's been sitting is full of dirt and stuff. So can't stress that enough. Anyone that's, even if you're restoring one of these tractors, it's good to tear everything down and probably flush and clean the hydro system especially out good. And I know there's filters, so I mean it'll keep filtering it, but I mean this amount of garbage in here would just keep clogging filters in no time. So just goes to show you don't know what you're going to find in here. So let me start breaking some bolts free and we'll get this out of here. Alright, to remove the carrier you got to remove the bearing flanges. So I got these broke free and loosened up. And even though I'm not going to use these because we're taking these out, I still want to keep everything together. I'm going to clean everything up really good and go ahead and put it in for parts in case I need it for another IH tractor down the road. But let me take this one out first so I start working on that one. Gently pull them out, and I'll make sure you keep all these shims on there. Like I did in the first video, I'll try to go over this some more. You still have to, the other carrier in this rear end might be a little different, but I'm going to keep all these shims just to try to have a general idea. Then I'll have to mark the pinion gear on the ring gear and make sure we get the right mesh. But let me go ahead and pull the other side out, the left side, and I'll show you removing the carrier here. Alright, here comes the fun part, removing the carrier. Now, on these cast iron jobs, it's a little harder to squeeze it through. So right here at the bottom, there's a little bit of an opening that's shallower than here. And up here, you just have to make sure when you turn these hopefully the camera picks this up, but you don't want it like this because that's going to get stuck. So you want it to where that piece of metal gives you the best clearance here. And then you just want to pull it and slide it out. Now, on the last one I did, on that 582, it gave me some problems because the castings here were a little rough. They didn't get it ground down just perfect, and it was a little difficult, so I had to file that down a little bit, but it should come out of there fairly easy. And as again, now that I got the carrier out of there, I'll show you. Let me go grab a light and show you how dirty this thing is inside. Alright, now that I have a light to show you, I mean, that is just black and gray muck. I don't know if that's, almost looks like dirt. It can't be gear shavings because the ring gear looks good. I don't know what got in this, but that's pretty gross looking. I pulled open not a lot of these, but this is probably the dirtiest one I've ever seen. So let me go over the other one and we'll pull that one out next. Alright, one thing with the Cub Cadet Corp compared to the IH rear ends is I did notice that the IH used lock washers on theirs, and when I was taking this out, there's no lock washers, but you can see there's remnants of Loctite. So these are Loctited in compared to the International that use lock washers, which I don't know if I'll use lock washers or not when I put this together, but the last one I did put a little Loctite on. It's sort of strange. This is aluminum compared to the older ones that were steel. So it's aluminum with steel in it. Where these here were all steel. So that was different on the last one I did. The one that I took out of the 682, that one was all steel, so that must have been maybe another small cost-effective measure. This one's stamped here 1995, but I'll go ahead and more than likely use the aluminum ones anyway because they go with these bearings. I'm going to keep all them shims together. These carriers, pretty straightforward. They come right out of there pretty easy, but there it is. So let me get these cleaned up and then I'll show you the ring gears here. Alright, so the bearing cups, the IH one, cast steel, really heavy. This sort of really shocked me. It's aluminum steel sleeved there. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and use the cast iron ones on the two-piece when I put it back together. I don't know. I'm not crazy on this aluminum. I'm not saying it's not strong. I'm not saying it's not going to hold up, but for doing what I'm doing with this tractor, I want additional weight anyway. So the weight difference alone is not that it's going to make a huge difference, but I just like the cast steel. So this two-piece carrier is heavy. I mean, this is beefy. This one's heavy, but not nearly as strong as this one. So this is the end of part 2. I just wanted to get the carriers out of here. Like I said, I got to get this stuff cleaned up. Everything sorted, what goes to parts. Part 3 is going to be, go ahead and turn these over to show you. I'm going to have to drill out these rivets on the backs like I did for the 582, and then I got to pull the ring gear off of these and I have to swap them. So I got to put this beveled ring gear, as you can see them teeth are on a curve, and this is a straight cut ring gear, and I have to swap these and then bolt them on. So I got to put the beveled on this two-piece carrier, and then when I get that axle tube back, hopefully I can put all this back together and it works well. So stay tuned. Part 3 will be coming. Hopefully it's quicker than I think, but I can't ever tell. I'm just waiting on him to get it machined, and then me to have time to go ahead and do these projects. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. If you like Cub Cadet and videos, I'll try to do more videos like this. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. I try to answer all the comments that I can. And most importantly, thank you for watching.